I've been putting this off for way too long. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Bobby Johnson. I was an atheist for 33 years, a very firm atheist, and then I had an encounter with God in my backyard, October 4th, 2023. I've wanted to share my testimony basically since the day it happened to me, but at the same time, I know exactly how it sounds. Like I said, I was an atheist for 33 years. I know that I'm about to get, diagnosed in the comments. People are going to tell me I need to be on medication, I need to see a doctor. They're going to tell me, that I'm lying or that I'm trying to get attention. I'm not a confrontational person, and I haven't been looking forward to the hate comments, I've kind of been avoiding it. But then I sort of got to a point where I didn't care as much, and I started posting more like little TikToks, working my way up to sharing my full testimony. But then I started to worry not only about what the world was going to say, but also what the church might think of me. I've been going to church for the past year, and I love my church. I just don't know if everything I've experienced is exactly biblical. I haven't read the Bible in its entirety yet, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I just started to worry, like, what are they going to think about me? Now I'm worried about what everybody's going to think about me. And then it just kind of clicked. Like, I'm open to correction if somebody thinks that something I've experienced is bad. Please let me know. I am open to correction. I am still learning. Please correct me. Give me some guidance. I need it. But yeah, I really only care what God thinks of me. And I think God would like me to share this testimony. He hasn't told me to, but I just think it's really cool, and I want to share. I want to help someone if I can. If there's someone out there who, views the world the way I used to view the world, and it helps them seek God and find God, then it's worth every hate comment. It's worth it. I've been sick the past couple of weeks, and I knew I was going to share, finally. I was trying to figure out where's a good place to start. I don't know where to start. I could jump right into the big, meeting God in my backyard moment, but if I'm trying to reach people who were like me, who are like the way I used to be, if that's the way you'd say that, if I'm trying to reach those people, then I think it's best that I start from the very beginning. Like my first spiritual experience that I can remember having, which actually happened during my childhood. Even though I was raised an atheist, I still had some pretty cool things happen that I just chalked up to being like, oh my, that was my imagination or something. But now, after knowing what I know and after experiencing what I've experienced as an adult person, I know that those were not just things in my imagination, but we'll get there later. Yeah, so the very first thing I can remember is something that happened to me when I was 6 years old in 1996. We were on the way to Florida, me and my mom and my dad. My dad used to we would take trips to Florida almost every summer, and I can always remember that he liked to drive at night. So we left, super late at night, and we got to Panama City Beach, early in the morning. And when we got there, I think I had probably slept, the whole way there probably. I was a little 6-year-old girl. My mom and dad had been up all night, driving, and I'm sure they were exhausted, but I remember when we got there, I saw the pool at the motel, and I wanted to go swimming. I kind of remember having to beg my mom and dad a little bit. Like, they were probably tired I imagine they were saying something to me like, later we're gonna rest a while. But I think I was adamant about it. I really wanted to go swimming. And so we ended up doing that. I think we probably put our stuff down in the room, and then my mom and dad like had me change into my swimsuit, and we went out by the pool. We were the only ones out there because, like I said, we had just got to the hotel. It was super early in the morning. I feel like the sun might have, just been rising. My mom and dad weren't in the water with me. I don't think I was a great swimmer at 6, but I was familiar enough with the water to where they were letting me kind of do my own thing. I had an inner tube around my waist. I actually have a picture of this pool where this happened, and in the background the inner tubes are right there, so you'll be able to, I'll insert the picture and you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so my mom and dad were like sitting at a table, talking amongst themselves. I don't know what they were doing. I was in my own little world. I had the inner tube around my waist, and I kept jumping in the pool and then, walking up the steps and jumping back in like over and over. And my dad was a drinker. I don't know if they were drinking, or I mean, they very well could have been, but they weren't paying attention to me. And I jumped in the pool. This inner tube, I forgot to mention, it was really tight around my waist. Like, it wasn't a loose one. It was very snug. Like, I kind of had to wiggle into it. So I go to jump in the water with this tube around my waist, and I go in head first this time, and I'm upside down in the water, feet up in the air. I can remember being in the water and like panicking because I can't breathe. I'm stuck upside down in this inner tube in the pool. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't there anymore. I was above the pool, like not super high up, but kind of high up, and I wasn't panicking anymore. I looked down and I could see like my legs sticking up out of the tube, and I remember looking over and seeing my mom and dad talking. And I think I may have had a thought like, are they going to see me? I remember feeling a little concerned, but I wasn't in a panic state like I was, a few seconds ago when I was upside down in the water. And then I see my dad look over and finally notice me there. And he dives in the pool, flips me over, pulls me out. I'm coughing up water, and I'm back in my body. I don't think I told my parents about any of this. I think I coughed up the water, I was probably crying. I was so little, I was 6 years old. But I just think I, sat down for a little bit. Maybe I started swimming some more. Maybe we went back to the motel room after that. Like, I don't remember. But that is my near-death experience. And that is the first thing that ever happened to me that I can remember. So this is going to be not a whole lot, but kind of a lot. This is part 1. So I don't think I'm going to do a part 2 tonight, but stay tuned, it's coming.